super cool SpongeBob hitmaker, Zingumalo. Make sure you set your holiday calendar to join us on Nicktoons, DSTV channel 308 on Wednesday 25 June at 4 p.m.
On 947, this is EWN.
Good evening, I'm Lerato Hofila. 12 National Defence Force members will remain behind bars until next week, where they are expected to apply for bail. The group appeared in court this afternoon after being arrested in connection to the brazen murder of a Hawks official. Frans Matipa was shot in August 2023 while driving on the N1 highway near Hammanskraal, north of Pretoria. 2 of the soldiers were arrested yesterday and 10 others handed themselves in today before appearing in the Randburg Magistrates Court. Khomotso Modise has more.
When Lieutenant Colonel Frans Matipa was assassinated in August 2023, he was attached to the Crime Against the State unit in the Hawks. He was also investigating the abduction of 2 foreign nationals from the Mall of Africa in Midrand in December 2022. The state has linked the 12 SANDF members to this abduction, which happened in broad daylight. Hawk spokesperson Christopher Singo.
They are facing different charges. That's the charges of murder, kidnapping, theft of motor vehicle, obstructing the ends of justice.
The soldiers made a brief appearance in the Randburg Magistrates Court this afternoon and are expected back in court next week for bail application. Khomotso Modise, Eyewitness News.
Action SA leader Herman Mashaba has had a tough task convincing residents in Alex about the party's promise to improve their lives. Mashaba launched Action SA's campaign for the 2026 local government elections in the area earlier today. Alpha Ramoshwana was there.
As Herman Mashaba takes a walk in Alexandra, he receives a mixed reception, as some greet him enthusiastically while others see him as just another politician. He approaches a group of men sitting outside a corner store and outlines Action SA's plans. But the men aren't convinced, saying they'd rather throw their support behind an independent candidate chosen by the community.
We
need to hand over power to the people and not politicians. Political parties don't respect us, so why should we vote for them?
No political party. This coming local election.
Mashaba told the men that Action SA is fully ready to bring about change in the community. Alpha Ramshwana, Eyewitness News in Alexandra.
And the South African Weather Service is warning of an intense cold front which is expected to hit most parts of the country from Wednesday. The service held a briefing earlier today, cautioning that the cold front may bring along a risk of localized flooding. A fine Tuesday in store for Gauteng tomorrow. Lerato Hofila, Eyewitness News.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
#MSW.
You may begin to feel anxious or excited.
Honest, deliberate, engaging, uncensored.
High dosage administration can cause adverse reactions.
And most importantly, independent in mind and execution.
This is a normal response. Are you ready?
Marawa Sports Worldwide.
I was here.
You know, I hear the voice in my ear saying, say goodbye. I can't really say goodbye. It's been really fantastic. Yes, I am. Phumlani Msibi. Bye-bye.
Msibi, Ndlondlo, Mabuya, Kuliwe, Ndlondlo yadla ubulongo yalibala, Siwela, Gasa.
Goes straight to Robert Marawa. It is the team. I wish you, as I stand here, King's Collection Stadium, a speedy recovery of it. I am Phumlani Msibi. Bye-bye.
I was here. I lived. I loved.
I'm talking here about a legend, the leader, the voice, Abdeslam Wadu.
Yo, what an honest coach. What a good coach. Roberto. We don't have a coach. Jose Rivero is left. Jose Rivero is left. Please come coach Orlando Pirates.
Who in the world will not wish to coach such big clubs like Orlando Pirates, like Mamelodi Sundowns?
Want to give a special shout out to my Mamelodi Sundowns, lifelong supporter here, new fan here. Love the way they played, love the heart, love the determination, taking it right to Borussia Dortmund, making a game of it, 7 goals. That's like a month's worth of goals at TQL Stadium mostly. Loved it. I'm officially declaring that the yellow and green, not the yellow and black, the yellow and green is appropriate soccer attire here in Cincinnati.
Robert Marawa, live on 947. Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live. #MSW.
All right, finally, it is a Monday. It is Reaction Monday. Looking forward to it. It's a great show. We're going to be moving here, there, and everywhere. You're going to be a major part and player in it. We got Kagiso Rabada already here in studio. Around about 20 past, he'll slide into the studio to chat to us. Remember, guys, he is a world champion, and we want to hear from you. Marawa Sports Worldwide, proudly brought to you by Hollywood Bets.
Let's go! The moments you remember. The games you can't forget. Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947, Vuma FM and Rise FM. Powered by Hollywood Bets.
Good afternoon to you, Rob. Good afternoon to listeners. Roberts, it's Reaction Monday today. It's a World Cup. Let's start with the World Cup. Firstly, Robert, can you please clarify to us how they select the clubs that have to play in the World Cup, in the Club World Cup? Why that they won Champions League last year, and Al Ahly they were knockouts in the semi-finals. So can you please clarify to us how they select those clubs to play in the Club World Cup? And also Nyoso. Oh wow, Nyoso, Loch. Robert, let me take my heads down to Rulani Mkwena, who try to revive the career of Lodge, because most of South African, they write off Lodge. And also, I so wish Lodge was 25 years old, because now he got the opportunity to go overseas. This is a chance for Lodge to get his pension by talking to his agent and say, look, let's get a 5-year contract, whatever team that wants me, get a 5-year contract, and then I play there for that couple of season, and then I come back home. Because now I think there are some of the clubs that's gonna want him overseas, though they want to keep him. So thumbs up to Rulani Mukwena for reviving the career of Lodge. Thanks very much. Nice show, Royce. Bye.
Thank you so much. Indeed, it is Reaction Monday, proudly brought to you by Slow Mag. Beat your slump. What were you saying about Lodge?
That's rapid. Maybe now he's going to get something here from Lodge. They do. The counter-attacks that they were talking about yesterday have come to fruition. Maybe he doesn't need that notepad now. So Wydad get their first goal over FIFA Club World Cup. Beautifully timed pass and a very adroit finish. The one player who really has looked like a goal scorer for them in a game and 20-odd minutes has got a goal here. Tembikosi Lorch.
Good evening, Mr. Marawa. Kuluma Nasbongele Namkwan. Club World Cup, Mamelodi Sundowns. I think they left everything on the field of play on Saturday against the Borussia Dortmund, Mr. Marawa. Let alone that mistake by Ronan Williams, but I think overall they showed hunger, they showed dedication, they showed that they are not there just to add numbers. They want to achieve something to Club World Cup. I just wish that they will do well in their next game so that they will progress to the next round. For us as South Africans, I think we should give them all the support that they need and hope that they do well. Thank you, Mr. Marawa. Good show as always.
Good evening, Rob, to you and your listeners. My reaction this Monday is for my team, Masandawana. I think we play beautiful football, no doubt, and we advertised SA football well. However, my concern with Sundowns is that we do the right things in the wrong place. We have mastered the possession football, but majority of that possession football is played in our own half. And we spend about 5 minutes just passing the ball back and forth to Ronwen Williams. I mean, if you look at all these top European teams, they get out of their first third, which is the danger zone, as quickly as possible. And for Ronwen to say that we are a team that likes to take risks, to me, it just leaves a bitter taste in my mouth. Take risks for what when we're in a knockout game? These are the sort of things that breed arrogance.
Those kind of things that breed arrogance, hey, that's the reaction coming through on the Monday. Are you in total agreement? And I know that Kagiso, the coach of Mamelodi Sundowns, was saying that what Sundowns are currently doing at the FIFA Club World Cup needs a little bit more respect from South Africans. I mean, you can't go into a FIFA Club World Cup, guys, and let's be honest, and you go and play against Borussia Dortmund and you come out of that game with 3 goals. Sure, they lost 4-3, but you come out with 3 goals and you still scored an own goal. That says something about SA football. It says something about the love as well. When you look at the ball possession stakes, Sundowns actually had 59% of the ball possession, 41% to Borussia Dortmund. When you look at total shots that were taken on target, they had 4, Borussia had 6. But in total, Sundowns had 16 and Borussia Dortmund had 8, which means that they had limited the opportunities to take on. Does the goalkeeper, Ronwen Williams, become a bad goalkeeper overnight? I don't think so. I certainly do not think so. I just think that, guys, it's a different level. It is a different level. Let other teams be inspired by Sundowns. Let other teams do and want to do what Sundowns are currently doing. I'll take your calls. I'll take your WhatsApp voice notes. As I said, a very busy show, but also punctured by the fact that, also tonight, we do open the show with heavy hearts as we pay tribute to a true giant of South African sports broadcasting, a voice that echoed across stadiums as well as boxing rings, a voice that inspired, informed, united us in many ways. Phumlani Msibi, the legendary football and boxing commentator, beloved sports presenter, masterful anchor, and a man whose passion for sport was matched only by his passion for life. He sadly passed away this past Friday at the age of just 57. And for decades, Phumlani's voice brought games to life. I mean, his insights shaped our understanding. I mean, his presence on television made every moment richer, more human, and more meaningful. Whether it was a roar of the crowd in the Soweto derby or the tension of a world title fight, it was his voice that carried the emotion, the drama, the magic. And that is why tonight we remember not just the broadcaster, but the friend, the mentor, the pioneer. A life well lived, a voice that will never be forgotten. And on behalf of the entire Marawa Sports Worldwide family, and also sports fans across the nation, we do send our deepest condolences to his family, his friends, his colleagues, and every fan whose life he touched. I mean, this is an individual that some of us watched when the Tuesdays began at SuperSport, and there was just one local game that was being broadcast on a Tuesday. And ironically, now the late Bo Musaneke was part and parcel of that very creative space that was made in pay-per-view television of broadcasting local football. And watched him from afar, from the public broadcaster perspective, and I was like, wow. The genius of the man, the knowledge of the man, the depth of knowledge, when you got a memory that goes far deeper than anybody can ever imagine. And that was his brilliance. The ability to handle post-match interviews in a way that I think at times when he got criticized by people to say, why not say more than just thoughts, please? And he said, what should I do? I said, keep doing that. Because it is the coach's opinion that matters and not yours in your initial question. So when you say thoughts, please, you're not giving the coach an opinion of what you've thought of the game, but you're allowing him to give everybody the opinion of what he believes. And then all you do is you listen and then you counter and you deliver from there based on that. It became his signature. It became something that we all live and love up until today. It's just that sometimes, when you got to carry that question as individuals, and he would have to ask me right now, what are my thoughts, please? Unfortunately, my friend, I don't have any, because you should be here with us, chatting.
From all of us here at #MSW947, Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live, sending heartfelt condolences.
I was here. I lived. I loved.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the main event. It's been a long road. Needed that warrior spirit here.
I was here.
At Moraka Solos, there was a player, Samuel Happy Cow Nkomo. When he joined Solos, he then said, Pumlani, I'm no longer a happy cow now, I'm a happy bird. Coach, appreciate your time. Thoughts, please. Thoughts, please. Thoughts, please. When things go as pear-shaped as they are going now,
you cannot sacrifice the driver because the car doesn't start.
At this rate, I may have to walk home because
MSW.
#MSW. Good evening, MSW listeners. Good evening, Rob Marawa. This is Lawrence from Proteas. I noticed with disbelief the passing of Baba Pumlani Msibi, and I would like to say condolences to his family, to the soccer fraternity, to everyone that he has made contact with, because this is the man that gave us the best interviews you can ever have. I will always remember him as he says, thoughts please. Thank you, Rob. May his soul rest in peace.
Good evening, Mr. Marawa, and to the MSW listeners. I just want to pass my heartfelt condolences to the family of the late legend, Mr. Msibi, and as well to the football fraternity. All I can say is that Mr. Msibi was great at his job, and you could see the passion and optimism in him to deliver a great comment. Could tell he loved his job. Big loss not only to Southern Africans, but to Africa as a whole, and will truly be missed. We will miss his famous interview statement. Your thoughts, please. Thanks, Mr. Marawa.
Thank you so much indeed. Let me head off now to Undu Msibi, his son, somebody that he obviously loved more than most, and vice versa. Ndu, thank you so much, Baba, under very difficult circumstances, for you to briefly chat to us here on the show. Our condolences to you and the family.
Ngibingelele Mr. Marawa. Ngiyabonga ukuthi nikwazi ukusithinta, and thank you for having us on the show.
Yeah, I mean, difficult all round. I think it's been very hard for everybody to take it in, everybody to realize that our icon and our friend and our colleague, but also a very blessed family man, is no more. When you heard the news, I believe you're not around. Maybe just share on a more personal level your memories and what he meant to you.
So obviously this happened actually on Friday. So when I heard the news, I was actually out of the country. So I had to make my way back to South Africa, Joburg specifically, to then start making such arrangements. But I think more than anything is that when his time came, he was actually surrounded by family and the people that loved him. I think we mentioned when we initially announced it, that we know that he's someone that is beloved in the sports world. And over and above that, obviously for us, as Umdeni Wamsibi, he's a father, he's a son, he's a brother, he's an uncle to several nieces and nephews around within the family. So of course for us, that's the person that we remember more than the face that appears on television. even as it stands, we are highly appreciative of the love and support that people have actually been sharing online and in some cases directly.
But what's the one standout principle that he taught you?
I think more than anything, he's a man that chased after his dreams. I think between the two of you, you would have interacted him in a personal manner several times as well, because I know the two of you were close friends. I think more than anything, it's his drive to actually go out and achieve what he set out to achieve, because at the end of the day, he's just a guy also emlazi wahamba wayegoli with the dream in his head, something that he was highly, highly passionate about, and he never let anything get in his way of actually achieving those dreams, and he took it to the highest level possible.
How would you want South Africans to remember him by? Have you given that some thought to say, how do we make the Phumlani Msibi name be remembered way and many years later?
That's almost maybe too good a question for me, because it's difficult to tell people how they should remember someone. I think you've played several clips on the radio of the classic moments that he brought to people. I think some people go further back to when he was on SABC before the transition to Super Sports and his various involvements across the different sporting codes within Mzansi and so on. So people can choose their moments of how they remember him, whether it's the classic post-match interviews or whether you want to talk about the build-up to the soccer games and the Soweto derbies that people have come to know him for, or whether people that are more sort of in niche, let's say sports like boxing, that he was heavily involved in. I think it's up to the fans and the people that followed him to choose how they want him to be remembered. But I think ultimately what we know is he was someone highly passionate about his work and highly professional. I don't think I've ever heard much negativity when it comes to umsebenzi akade wenza. Isikhathi esiningi abantu akade beyikhuluma bekuyizinto ezinhle ngaso sonke isikhathi. Even now, as we are currently dealing with some of the logistics and the planning for this week, several people have actually been reaching out, trying to find out, when things are going to be happening. Umsebenzi wakhe ukuthi unini. Even reaching out about potentially giving donations to the family. So we've even decided ukuthi we'll send out a little bit more communication, most likely tomorrow, as the family, so that those people that are interested can then find a way of contributing and actually know what the proceedings will be for the rest of the week.
All right, and do trust us to carry those messages through here on the radio and other platforms as well as they are incoming. I know that you are due for a family meeting and you've just taken a few minutes to be with us. We just wanted to reassure you that as South Africans, we are firmly behind you. You've lost a great man, you've lost a family man, you've lost a man that really made a big difference to all our lives. And be proud that he was the man that he was. Be proud that he made the difference that he did. And any support that you do need as a family, please just know, Skonam Tumtal. Thank you so much. And once again, our deepest condolences.
Siyabonga kakhulu, Mr. Marawa, siyabonga kakhulu, nakubalendeli bakho, nakubalendeli bakhe, and all the support that we've received so far. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That's Undu Msibi, the son of the now late Phumlani Msibi.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live at the same time. #MSW.
It all starts with FNB Private. Diversify your portfolio to grow your wealth. Gain global exposure through shares or unit trusts on the FNB app. Tap into international investments and tax-efficient offshore trusts to build your legacy. Unlock invaluable with FNB Private. Help changes everything. FNB, a division of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized FSB and credit provider. FNB International Trustees, FNB IT registration number 3080. Licensed by the Guernsey Financial Services Commission to conduct fiduciary business. T's and C's apply.
Do you sometimes feel like you're not reaching your full potential and often hitting a slump? Slowmag, the #1 magnesium supplement, helps you fight that constant feeling of tiredness and aids in rapid recovery after physical activity. Slowmag is available from leading retail pharmacy chains, selected retail stores, and independent pharmacies nationwide. Beat your slump with Slowmag. Visit slowmag.co.za for more. Get information on medicines without a prescription from the online medicine directory from your trusted source, Sapra.
Are you looking for the best savings on spectacles?
At Specsavers, enjoy 1,500 Rand off when you get tested at South Africa's trusted and most established optical group. Get 1,500 Rand off all frames in store, or use your 1,500 Rand off on our leading lens enhancements, such as drive light lenses that reduce artificial glare whilst driving. Book online or call your nearest store today. Affordable eye care, Specsavers. T's and C's apply. From snug mornings to cozy evenings, the Amazon Big Smile Sale Winter Edition brings joy and warmth to your winter days. From 20 to 30 June, get 200 Rand off your first purchase with the code WINTER200. Plus, delivery is for Mahala. Download the Amazon app today or visit amazon.co.za. T's and C's apply.
Hey, honey, look. Went to the shops, like you asked, and it was the Deco Fern birthday sale. Picked up this amazing 3-seater sofa for only $5,599. And this coffee table, just $489. Oh, and this gorgeous standing mirror for like $699.
Wow, I just asked you to get some milk.
Get deals worth celebrating at Deco Furniture's epic birthday sale with 10 to 40% and more off everything in-store or online now at decofurnsa.co.za.
Every night the tension builds. Will they take the deal or risk it all? Stay locked to Deal or No Deal. Weeknights at 6:30 p.m. on SABC2. Life-changing prizes are just one choice away. Fortune favors the bold. Will you deal? Brought to you by Lotto Star.
Lotto Stars, licensed by the Employee No under 18. National Responsible Gambling Program. 0800 600
Bundesliga
supply. All games are fixed odds betting events.
The success. 300 games in the Bundesliga. The Bafana Cups. Well, some people say 69. I say 73. What do you have?
I think I have 79, I think.
79.
Yeah.
Could have gotten to 100 though.
It could have gone, yeah. If I was given the chance when I came back to South Africa to play more games.
Who denied you?
Should I mention the name?
Mention his name.
Huh?
Yeah, why not?
Well, it was the guy that took me to Germany, Gordon Ingerson.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
So what was the issue?
I couldn't understand, but at the time, I took it with a pinch of salt. I'm not one of those players that go to a coach, why are you not playing me?
Yeah.
And all that kind of jazz. If you think I'm good, if you think I fit in your concept and your system, play me. I'll do the business for you.
#MSW.
#MSW.
Not your ordinary Monday. It's Reaction Monday. #MSW.
Hi Rob, it's Ntando here from Pretoria. I would like to firstly congratulate Kagiso Rabada and would like to ask him how is he really doing after the WTC, and also how does it feel for him to finally have achieved his goal or his dream of having a World Cup. And I mean, he did it at 30 years. What a major achievement. Congratulations to him and the Proteas.
Oh man, what a beautiful way to start. He is a champion, of course. No time for losers, man. We'll come to that question in a second, Dando, because, when the stage was set, when the stakes were at their highest, this man delivered. A test match bowling display, though, for the ages in the World Test Championship, one that will be talked about, written about, remembered for generations. And here's a number, though, that will send shivers down the spine of any batter around the world. The only bowler in Test cricket history with a strike rate below 40. Yeah, you heard me? Jaw-dropping, 39.98. Now, for bowlers with more than 150 Test wickets, you got to digest that. He was etched closer and closer to being a word that I'll use later. But his name is definitely amongst the greats in world cricket. When you look at his searing pace, the lethal accuracy, the unrelenting intensity, and that is why tonight we celebrate a warrior in whites, a man who has made history with the ball in hand. He is the enforcer, some say the executioner, the ice-cold spearhead of South Africa's fast bowling attack. Ladies and gentlemen, KG Kagiso Rabada in studio. Good to see you, sir. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for the song as well. Should have brought my medal.
Where the hell is the medal?
It's at home.
Is it safe, though?
It's safe. I think it's safe.
You guys have been doing ticker tape parades and all sorts of things. You never know. Hey, sometimes you lose these things.
If you lose that, you'll cry for a week.
For only a week?
Yeah, minimum. Yeah.
There's no way you can't lose such a thing.
No, you cannot. You cannot. I don't think anyone has. I think that's probably our most prized position right now.
And for a long time, because nobody has been in this position before. So you got to be very honest and say that here you are, you sit in front of me and in front of all these cameras here on the YouTube channel, knowing that we've never been here before. This has never happened before in terms of the national senior cricket team.
Yes, and watching it as a kid or teenager, and then also experiencing the loss, having been there before. It's finally nice for South Africans. Not only nice for us, it's just really nice for South Africans to say that we've won an ICC event in cricket. It's just beautiful to see the joy on South African faces.
A pick up on that, a pick up on the voice note from Dando. How on earth does it make you feel to be a world champion right now?
Sure. You know what? It hasn't really sunk in, hey, Rob.
Yeah.
But, sometimes it just hits you in stages. So you just think to yourself, man, look at what we've just done. It's pretty awesome. And also with like an inexperienced team. But then also sometimes you're like, you need to keep going forward. So, it just comes and it goes. It comes and it goes. It comes and it goes. So I think it'll take a while.
Because I was going to say, you go, you deliver, there are doubts, there's all sorts of comments, you the underdog, but now you're carrying the mace. And the jubilation is there, the fans are there, your teammates are there. It makes a big difference. Do you then start, pondering about the moment? Do you start thinking about the future almost immediately? What is next? And you're part of the senior team now. You're 29, 30.
30, yeah.
So you're winning this literally as you enter the third floor.
You know what? I don't really think we were underdogs, though.
They thought made you to be, or to feel. I don't know if it was reverse psychology.
No, first of all, we don't want to let any outside noise come into our environment. But honestly feeling, I didn't think we were underdogs. I felt like they had a good bowling attack. We had a good bowling attack, and we had a few of our batters who are experienced and some who've done well and stood up in tough situations. And for them, they also have a pretty it's a little bit more inexperienced batting lineup, but still with our bowling, I felt that it's almost 50-50. I did not feel that we were underdogs. Yeah, not at all.
What about the talk, though, in terms of qualification and how South Africa got to be there? I know that it was an issue. We raised it with Coach Shukri when he was here.
Yeah.
But he wasn't fazed by it, which helped me to say that he then transfers that energy to the players.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's a big issue because we don't schedule anything, And besides that, we got to the final and we won the final. So I think it's as simple as that. I feel nothing for what people think about us having played weak opposition.
Yeah.
I mean, we played against the best team. We knew we had to be on our A game, and we did that. So that's all that matters in my eyes.
And I think that's all that matters in South Africans' eyes right now, when we can proudly wake up and see that the OR Tambo International Airport is flooded by fans, and knowing that it's going to take a lot in the future. We'll talk about the future and still, what will be coming up. But what about you, though? Because you have to deal with so much personal pressure at times. Maybe not. I know you're very thick-skinned as an individual. You're used to this by now. And then comes this, doping scandal, whatever they were calling it, going to Lords, and then it's a case of, oh, my goodness, what happens next? How did you take it? How did you handle it? You just seemed very unfazed.
Well, it was a pretty difficult time in my life. I think it was handled very well. I think, I had good support around me. It was just, looking back, it was just extremely silly. It was something that made me learn some valuable lessons, the hard way. That's what it made. That's what happened about it. We can laugh about it in the change room. We make jokes about it and all that. I don't condone my actions. It wasn't my proudest moment, but life happens sometimes, and it happened. I'll never accept it. But moving forward is the most important thing.
Sure. And before we move forward, though, let me just take that out of you. When you mention the word silly, describe that, because you got a younger cricketer who's listening to the show right now.
Yeah.
And saying, how do I avoid what KG is talking about right now?
Yeah.
Describe the silly moment and how you potentially can get caught up in something that maybe you regret.
Yeah, you never know. Sometimes you might not be, in the right headspace. Not headspace as in your mental health, but headspace as in not completely, I'd say sober, and sober in your thought process, and that's where errors of judgments can happen. And these things can happen. So you need to be aware of these types of dangers, which which I guess moving forward, I'm more than happy to highlight on what they are. I've always had the idea of doing that and finding a medium in which to do that. But I think for young sportsmen, young athletes, to educate themselves around these issues is important, because it can happen to anyone. Yeah, never did I think that such a thing would happen to me. It's also happened to multiple athletes as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, at the moment, I haven't really planned anything, but I would love to spread some awareness on it. Why not?
I think it'll be worth it, and the kind of support that you talk about, and for once, and that is why I celebrate somebody like Ashwell Prince and the role that he's played, Shukri Conrad, the role that he's played in just embracing the squad and the team and individuals that you have. What he's done for Tamba and his sense of belief, and all the songs, and you guys giving him the support as well. Aiden, who's also come off a lot of criticism, and the support that he's been given as well. Tell me about the role that Shukri and Ashwell have played in just bringing that about.
I think Shukri, Ashwell is you don't have to read into it too much about Ashwell. I mean, he played for South Africa for a long time. Everyone knows he was a fighter, but not many people outside of cricket know about Shukri. Shukri has been on the coaching circuit for quite some time, and he's been at National Academy level. When I went to National Academy, he was looking after the group that I was in. He coached, at the time that Graham Smith and Jacques Callis and them were playing at the Cobras. He coached at the Lions. I think he did SAA as well. So his apprenticeship, I mean, he's earned his apprenticeship, and I don't think it's by fluke that the team responds to him so well, because he's gained a cricketing nous, and he's got some wisdom on the back of his method. Yeah.
Lots of questions, eh? A lot of your supporters.
Hi Rob, this is Mtusu Mayaba from Pretoria. Hi to KG in studio. Just one question to KG. Is he looking at having the most wickets, breaking Stein's record and the Proteas? Thank you.
Yeah, I think everybody looks at those stats, eh?
I get asked that all the time, and my answer is always the same. Next time I'm going to take a piece of paper and print the answer and paste it on my forehead. I'm kidding.
What is the answer? Get it out the way so that we don't do those forehead things.
I'm kidding. No, thank you for the question. I think it would be a great achievement, but I think what I am doing is just falling in love with the process, and whatever the process gives, I'll take. So that's what it's about, really, refining the process.
But when you look at how close it is, the age you are at, the form that you are at, that's massive impetus for you to just keep going.
I guess, yes. It's something that's a good way to put it. It's something that keeps me going. But I wouldn't say it's on my mind all the time. It's every now and then. Yeah.
Because records are a thing, though. If it becomes a preoccupation, then it also becomes a destructive force. You know, you look at what records in Tiger Woods were, you look at records and what it did to maybe a Serena Williams, where it's just a case of, you need one more. Then they start digging up records from 1902 or 1837, and then they say, oh, can you get to this? Then now you say, oh, but I've gotten to the major one, what more do you want? Then it becomes a preoccupation, which then can drain you.
I guess, exactly. And I think it's about wanting to get better in sport. If you have the drive and the will to want to get better and refine the process and evaluate where you are, evaluate you're getting older, what must you do when you're getting older, what areas are you lacking at, naturally you'll break records anyway.
I mean, you're the only test bowler in history now with the strike rate under 40. So that we can't take away. It's there.
I guess so, yeah.
How do you accept it?
How do I accept it? I accept it as it's stated.
You improve it? You better it?
Well, that's an outcome.
Yeah.
That's just an outcome.
From you, though, which is a difficult one to have because it's meant that you've been consistent. You have been level-headed. You've challenged yourself to be where you are now.
100%. All the stats, they show what you've done. They show the hard work that you've done, and they give you confidence moving forward. So when you put the input and the output shows for itself, that's the hard work speaking.
Good evening, Rob, and good evening to Kagiso Rabada. Congratulations to him. An amazing achievement for me. Definitely, I admire the mental strength. To come back into a final after what he went through. To come back and still, deliver and perform like that in the final. Against all odds. I think everyone counted them out. Even I didn't think they will pull it through. But look at this now. Amazing. An amazing achievement. Did it play in their mind? That the fact that they have not won a major trophy. Team did they think about it? And then did they draw any positives for that in order for them to win this final? This is Silo.
Quick one, Silo. Thank you.
Sure. Yeah, I think. Bouncing back from what happened before that World Test Championship, it was just a matter of forgetting what has happened and putting all the focus into what you had to do. In fact, I think that it made me focus a lot more. Yeah. I think it added to my focus rather than take away from my focus what happened there.
You enjoyed yourself.
Yeah, it added to my focus. I was extremely focused, and I think the sort of thoughts of, man, here we go again. We're in another final. I don't know. I just kept seeing signs. I almost had a feeling. I had a feeling that we were going to win. I'm telling you, I'm serious. I just had that feeling that we were going to win.
At what point, though? At what point
a week from the first ball was bowled.
Really?
Yeah.
So regardless of the circumstances of what was happening on the field at the time, you just had a sense that this was your time.
100%. With that team, that's a special team, I think.
Sure.
That's how I felt.
Okay, we're going to come back.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live at the same time. #MSW.
Share your data and stay connected with an MTN mobile internet plan. For just $199 per month, you'll get 50 gigs of anytime data that can be shared with up to 5 MTN numbers. Whether it's family, friends, or your other devices, everyone stays online. Plus, add a 4G pocket router for just R10 extra per month and connect up to 10 devices. So visit an MTN store or mtn.co.za now. T's and C's apply. Today, we make moves. MTN.
Dear Journal, day 4602 of trying to be an adult. My doctor asked me how my quality of rest is at the moment. I told him I have 2 problems. I struggle to sleep at night, but I also struggle to awake at day.
Aggressively realizing your age? Get covered at pineapple.co.za. It's simple and like 19 Rand a day, so it's 100% the insurance for you. Underwritten by Old Mutual Alternative Risk Transfer Insurer Limited, licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP. Premiums are risk profile dependent.
This is Karabo. She's a high-flying, spreadsheet-smashing corporate climber. The only thing that slows Karabo down is winter.
Me and winter are not friends.
Karabo, there's a shot for that. Sir Fruit's fiery ginger shot is fierce and full of vitamins.
Now, we're besties.
You go, Karabo. Shoot your shot.
Ready, shot, go this winter with functional shots from Sir Fruit. Available at all major retailers and sirfruit.com. Sir Fruit, squeeze the day.
Before you sell your car, be really sure. Before you drive too far, be really sure. Be really sure. Be really sure. Before you settle for less, and it feels like too much stress. Before you sell your car, be really sure. Be really sure.
Get multiple offers and the best cash price when selling your car. Go to wheelie.co.za or the new Midstream Megastore for the best offer and instant payment.
Quiet, please. Quiet, please. Quiet, please.
With 50% off on limited Tennis Town tickets, no wonder Amex card members are so thrilled. Enjoy a world-class tennis experience at Monte Casino between 11 and 13 July 2025. Buy your tickets for Amex Tennis Town online today at howler.co.za for the Championships Wimbledon experience with the Mzansi advantage. Tennis is better with Amex.
Hello, welcome to the Crazy Store.
Hello, hi. I would like a refund for this stress ball.
Of course.
I have been squeezing it for 6 days and I'm still totally stressed out.
I see.
These safety pins, they don't work. I pinned them to my pants, but they don't make me feel safe. Can I exchange them for this pepper spray?
No problem. The Crazy Store. Our quality promise means we'll replace or refund any of our products that you are not happy with.
From all of us here at #MSW on 947, Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live, sending heartfelt condolences.
I was here. I lived. I loved.
Loving it. Thank you so much, Pooms.
Thanks, Mr. Msibi.
Mastermind genius you are, Mr. Msibi.
Thank you, Mr. Msibi.
Thank you so much, Mfowethu. Well done, namhlanje mahlasi. Appreciate your time. Thoughts, please. I-Orlando Pirates ezigamakebhula ezakebhula umhlaba kamasipala ezimnyama ngenkani ayibayithathile indebe. Hope you enjoyed the football. I am Phumlani Msibi. Bye-bye.
I was here.
You know, I hear the voice in my ear saying, say goodbye. I can't really say goodbye. It's been fantastic. Who can I leave out? Because the whole production team has had a fantastic production here. Yes, I am. Phumlani Msibi. Bye-bye. Msibi, Ndlondlo, Mabuya, Kuliwe, Ndlondlo yadla ubulongo yalibala, Siwela, Gasa.
MSW. MSW. Not your ordinary Monday. It's Reaction Monday. MSW.
Good evening, Mr. Marawa and the Marawa faithful. Mr. KG, Kagiso, congratulations on being a world champ. Well done. I know that it's not been easy. It's been tough. I think all the guys have their different stories, but I think, it's well wrapped up for you that you made it and you do it. And I hope that you see that, hey, you're still at the age where you can bowl fast, so don't stop, keep going. You can do this. You can break some more records for us. Very well done and a very congratulations. Very well done and a very congratulations.
Yeah, man, you can break some more records if you're just joining us. KG Kagiso Rabada is my guest here tonight. I call him King Rabada, and he is because, the stats say so, the performance says so, the return says so, and his world championship status says so right now. Taking your calls, taking your comments. We got Khansi in Pretoria. We got lots of your WhatsApp voice notes. Also checking it out on the YouTube channel. So whichever platform you're using, be part of the movement. It is a Monday, which means
not your ordinary Monday. It's Reaction Monday. MSW.
Good evening, Robert. I was at the Nelson Mandela Square, the Proteas parade, and I really wanted to ask, Kagiso Rabada a question, which I didn't get, the opportunity, but I really love to ask him, how would he like to be remembered one day when he is gone?
Oh,
sure.
Wow.
Yo, that's deep.
That's very deep.
Let's just say gone off the cricket world.
Like what? In cricket specifically? I'll take it in cricket.
I think take it in cricket, and then holistically, you've become cricket. I think your persona has become cricket.
I think, and first of all, in cricket, I think I'm very patriotic. So for me, just everyone should, I hope they can see how much it means to me to play for South Africa. And that I give my all, like my absolute all, to win games for South Africa. That, and I guess in my life is to contribute positively to society. Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
So a true patriot.
Yes, I mean, I just growing up, watching whatever it was, the rugby, the cricket. Yeah. It's always South Africa. You want South Africa to win, and now being on that platform is also contributing to that, and seeing people be happy.
And just the edge of doing it at Lords, though. Tell me about the importance of that. I always have the memory of a Makayantini, doing the kissing of the turf at Lords, and he's there doing his magic, expectations. And back then, they were still dealing with all sorts of issues around transformation, and he was that one person potentially to be the hero for more than just South Africans, but maybe for the marginalized prior to that. So that image of Untini always resonated so positively with me. So you going to Lords, you coming back as a world champion on the backdrop of that Untini example, what has that meant?
Yeah, I think our country comes from a rather unique past, a turbulent past. And we've seen how that has caused certain controversies in modern times when it comes to sport and selection and whatnot. But if you look at Makaya and what he did as a person of color, and looking at cricket and cricket being before categorized as not a sport for player or people who are of color,
yes,
because of how expensive it is, to maintain, and you need a pitch and a groundsman, and you need gloves and a bat and cricket balls and wickets and bails. That was more seen as a sport for white people. But then when people see Makayantini, South Africans or black South Africans see Makayantini doing what he did, it then makes it possible, and it makes you believe, an image is worth a 1,000 words, and it makes you believe that you can go there as a player of color. But on that, you look at the team that we're in at the moment, I come from a generation called the Born Frees,
yes,
and everyone that's on that team, we either played with each other at school or against each other at school or with each other at under 19, so we didn't experience any of those problems. And I think that's how far we've come. And for there not to be one single issue around transformation, we didn't hear one thing about it, not once this entire season, not once. And it was just really, really so refreshing to witness. And then you go on and win with that team. That's one of the hallmarks of that team, I think.
Is that why you said before the break it's a very special team?
I think that's one of the aspects that make it a special team.
Because you've got to rewind back now. It's your second ICC trophy that you've won. Yourself, Aiden Markram, I remember a decade ago, as youngsters coming on the back of the Under-19 World Cup. And to be able to replicate that now shows not only consistency, but shows what about the group of players who were identified then. And both you and Aiden come out with top numbers coming out of Lords as champions again.
100%. You know, it goes to what I was just saying. You know, myself and Aiden, we come from different backgrounds. You know, he's a white man, I'm a black man, and we get along, and so happen to have put up performances that made a contribution, you know, to us winning. And I think that was really special. And if you actually look, everyone in that team contributed. Everyone had a decent contribution.
Yeah.
But, you know, I really must reiterate, every time we had to go, you know, to either a World Cup or whether we were, you know, playing a certain series, there's always something around transformation, always. And this is the first time that there was none of that.
Was clear, which means things have balanced beautifully. And I'm just happy that you have one person across all platforms who is now in charge. I always believed in a Shukri Conrad bringing the balance right across in terms of cricket. And I do believe that moving forward, and as we chart the way forward, because I think it's also important to start engaging on the way forward, you will see how this will work out naturally. And you'll never have to go back again unless they disturb the peace and change things from an admin perspective that you and I have got nothing to do with. But if they're able to keep the things the way they are now, sure. Let me go to Khansi in Pretoria. Khansi, good evening.
Hi, good evening, Robert. How are you?
I'm very good. Thanks for your patience, man. The champ is here.
Kagiso Rabada, congratulations, sir. First on your SA20 title earlier this year, and now the World Test Championship. Congratulations. I cannot think of anyone else but you and the team led by Themba Bavuma who deserves this. I just have two quick questions. When you were on wicket number 9, before you got almost it was close to you getting 10, Robert has already asked. I was thinking if you got 10, you were going to kiss the turf in honor of Makhaya Ntini. Number one, was that in your mind? Number two, what do you think of the future of Test cricket? And the reason I ask is because every time we get events like this, there's an appetite for it. But we in South Africa don't play enough Test matches. And you seem to excel in this format. And I'm really happy that you've won. But what do you think of the future of Test cricket? And lastly, Mr. Kagiso Rabada, last year during the T20 final, you were the only African player. I heard you earlier talking about patriotism. I'm very happy with your answers. You were the only African player in the starting lineup. This year, we won the World T20 Test Championship. There were 3 African players deserving to be there. How did it make you feel being the only African player then and now with that transformation? What are your views on that? But throughout this, congratulations.
Okay. Let's squeeze in the answer. You asked for 2 questions. You squeezed in 3. So let's see how we navigate our way. Which one do you want to take first?
First question, I think I felt like, because they ended up getting a 50 partnership for the last wicket, so I quickly forgot about Tenfa there. I was more thinking, can these guys just get off the field now? Because they actually starting to they getting a bit too many runs here.
Yeah.
We need to chase as less as possible. That was my thinking. Second of all, after we did our team song on the pitch, I kissed the pitch after that. So that was like hours after the game. No one was in the stadium.
Team song.
Yeah, team song.
Just remind us again, how does it go?
It's called no, you know what? You just I'm not gonna do it now.
But we want to be part of the team, though. I mean, you're making us feel left out.
No, you can see clips.
No, how do I see clips when I've got Kagiso Rabada in front of me?
No.
Just give us 10 seconds of that team song.
No, so mostly it's about to those before us and to those to come. I mean, you can see it on the internet.
I don't have internet. I don't have.
You're supposed to have internet. You're literally in a broadcasting station.
I do, though. We haven't topped up as MSW, so we're just running out of airtime.
I'll send you the clip of when I'm singing it properly.
Are you dodging this bullet, sir? and then I think the other one that he did ask, the future of Test cricket.
Yeah. I think the future of I think the ICC are trying to make Test cricket relevant. I I don't feel as if it's going to become irrelevant. I think that also the best players in the world would love to see the revival of it. T20 is the most popular in terms of, because it gains that much revenue. But the ICC have improved the bonuses for the test, the incentives for playing test cricket.
Yeah. So there is a future. I'm saying that because I want your full answer though after this. So the good news is we've negotiated with KG. We are going to go onto the YouTube channel. If you're still there, please stay there. We'll take your comments. So we'll extend. Guys, going into extra time, there's lots of your voice notes and calls, etc., etc. So he's a world champion. I can't be letting him go now. So do find the time in the next minute or so as we switch over to the YouTube channel. The Reaction Monday probably brought to you by Slow Mag, available at leading retail pharmacy chains, selected retail stores, and also independent pharmacies nationwide. And I can invite you to tune in again to Marawa Sports Worldwide tomorrow, proudly brought to you by Hollywood Bets.
The thrill, the drama, the action. Play the game again. Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947, Vuma FM and Rise FM. Powered by Hollywood Bets. #MSW. Live now on 947, Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live. At the same time. #MSW. Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
We honor the journey, the spirits, the enduring legacy of the one and only Darren Buckley. So when I mention the name Uwe Rapolda, yeah.
Yeah.
What comes to mind?
Oh, for me, he was one of the best coaches I worked with at Bielefeld. And then Rapolda was the one that believed in me, brought me to Bielefeld, and he built a team around me.
Because they just paid you petrol money, if I remember correctly. And you're right when you say money was not a major thing. You've got Deboch on the line.
Rob, you talking to one of the best fullbacks in the country that we've ever produced. Darren Buckley displayed some of the great quality that we are seeing now in football back then. You were ahead of the game.
Yeah, Darren Buckley. It's definitely a legend. I think he made an exceptional, lasting impact on the game. He deserves a lot of respect.
And Smidendorp, hey?
In that year, I worked with him as assistant coach towards him. I've learned so much.
#MSW. #MSW.
Oh man, so many proud South Africans sending out their messages and shout outs to the champion himself. We have on extra time right now, Kagiso Rabada, world champion, comes back to South Africa very proud indeed. They've made history. Congrats to the Proteas. Congratulations indeed to each and every individual that contributed to this major success, from the coaching staff to the players, their families that play such an integral part of making sure that the balance is there all the time. And here to just break down everything post that victory, post the ticker tape parades that happened around in and out of Joburg from the Tambo International. And if you made it and you were not able to get any question through, well, now is the best time to do that. You ready for the final stretch, sir?
Here we go.
Let's do this. Let's do this. Just to quickly expand, though, on the conversation we're having about Test cricket, and I know I was one of the people that were disappointed last year around the issue of the Test match that was supposed to be played against the Black Caps. Supposed to play against New Zealand. It clashed, I think, with the SA20, and then they chose a side to go there, and everybody else that was contracted to play in the SA20 then did that. Does that, do you believe, begin that devaluation process of sending the best to play Test, as we were talking about earlier on, or how should it be handled now, given the commercial imperatives of the one versus what we want out of Test cricket?
Well, I think that just was a scheduling error,
Yeah.
and that's all it was. So, you have to look at what's going to benefit Cricket South Africa. And since they are owners of the, I think 50% owners of the SA20, they also have to make sure that the best players are playing there because of the investment from the Indians. The Indians have invested in that, and they want to see this product flourish. And within the contract, you would have seen that they want the best players. So the only thing there was it was a scheduling error. In the cricket annexure, in the yearly program, you'll see that there will be various T20 leagues in different locations. So then, what the ICC and along with the cricketing bodies, what they should do is plan around that. The one-day series or the T20 series amongst and Test series amongst the nations. So I think if we get our scheduling right, then we should be able to find time to play the format.
All right, I'm glad, and I hope that we don't have these scheduling problems that happen.
The big problem is that now that more revenue is being produced within cricket because of the broadcasting rights and numbers of eyes on the game. You have the big three playing against each other because they generate the most income. You see, so then it's almost seen as if they're doing others a favor, to play against them, and which is actually pretty true. Cricket South Africa rely heavily on India coming here because India basically boss world cricket. I think they generate more than 80% of the revenue.
I'm glad you mentioned India because that's where I was going with the future conversation. So when we go Kagiso Rabada now versus what's going to be happening in the future, and T20, the World Cup in India, that's happening as soon as next year. Then you've got your 50-over World Cup that's going to be in South Africa, 2027. So you got 3 times title hopes in 3 consecutive years that lie directed at you and the team. What's your feeling about that? And do you believe we are at the moment in an element where we could achieve all 3?
Yes, I mean, you have to set your hopes really high, and your ambitions really high. Definitely the eyes on that 2027 World Cup. So the planning has to be, solid around that.
Yeah.
And I guess the planning started already with the 2026 World Cup in India. Since the birth of the SA20, I think that's brought through a lot of our local players. And because of the Indian ownership and the stakeholders within the teams, they have the players have been exposed to those various teams, which are the same owners of the Indian Premier League. So they are actually having more faith in our local players, where before the problem was that a lot of the New Zealand players and a lot of the Australian players would get preference over our players, even though our players are equally as good and if not better. So I think that's quite an exciting group of players to work with there. And it's just about packaging that team and having plans there in that 2026 World Cup and moving forward. And since COVID, you've had an ICC event every single year, which has been, a little bit weird. So normally it was the T20 World Cup every 2 years and the 50-over World Cup every 4 years. So now you have that and the World Test Championship. So you have many bites at the apple.
Sure. And I think we need to erase those memories of 2003, especially on home soil. I remember, and that's where we were really exposed to the power of the Duckworth-Lewis system. And it hit us in the face. And I don't think a lot of people have recovered from that because we love nothing more than a home victory. 95 Rugby World Cup proved what that means. From a football, we haven't won a World Cup. We hosted it, won Africa Cup of Nations in 96. But I'm just saying that the memories of 2003 I think you guys are best set to erase those memories.
Well, yeah, we'll take it on, take the bull by the horns. That's the way. That's the way going forward. We just need to plan really well for it. Cricket South Africa need to plan really well for it.
Yeah.
And us as a team, hopefully I'm there. I'd really love to be there.
It's around the corner, man. 2027.
Yeah. Oh no, yeah. I think I'll still be playing.
Yeah.
But I'd really love to be there, and the planning just has to be really good. We need to know exactly how we want to go about it.
Just a quick one though, because I thought before I bring in other comments, the decision to field first at Lord's, that change room discussion that was going on, because I was made to believe that eventually bowling Australia out to the task of breaking the highest second innings test run chase at Lord's was the main focus. So just talk me through that particular discussion and the decision in the end.
Well, that was a very easy decision to bowl first. It was overcast.
Done.
Yeah. It's overcast, you bowl.
Yeah.
In England, you look at what's happening upstairs. If it's overcast, you bowl. If the sun's out, you bat. Where in South Africa, it's probably a bit different.
Yeah.
Whether it's overcast or not, you look at what the pitch looks like. Will most likely look the same.
Yeah.
As it always does. But the wickets here, they tend to get faster as the game goes on, and then it becomes really hard to bat last.
Sure.
Whereas, in England, you look at overhead conditions more than anything.
Yeah, those are usually very problematic.
Good evening, Robert. Good evening, KG. This is the man. Robert, I want to say to KG, he must know that he inspired quite a number of people. And my request to him is he must not disappoint. He must know he has a huge followers. And again, I know his dad is his supporter number one. To him, I want to find out, is he still your supporter number one? And lastly, Robert, cricketers travel a lot. A quick one to him. Which role do partners play in cricket? Because in soccer, I know they are being sidelined because they are ever away from home. So just to find out, are partners always traveling with them or they are home longing? Good show as always.
Hey, a bit of Mkosi coming in here, I suppose.
Yeah.
But I think fair question I understand where he comes from, where we've seen it happen in rugby.
Mm-hmm.
And the family unit and partners traveling and families joining brings about a sense of families here, so the worry is gone. Everybody interacts in that manner. How do cricketers deal with it?
Yeah, family is your support system. The gentleman asked about my father. My father's been there for me. My mother's been there for me. My family's been there for me. So to those that have spouses, they mean a lot to them. But I think there's a fine line. So there would normally be a family period because our job as athletes is to perform. And so, for instance, we had a camp for 1 week, and we'll have maybe a 3-day camp or a 3 to 1 week camp, 3-day to 1 week camp where it's just us, because you need that team cohesion. So sometimes when you do bring families, as good as it can be, sometimes it messes with the team cohesion. So when it's just you guys in the hotel, you tend to spend more time with each other, and that brings the team together, and then there'll be a family period. I think that's the most effective method.
Mr. Marawa, thanks for having the champion there, KG Rabada. I must say the guy is really, really done. Wow. KG, does he always enjoy rattling those wickets? This is one of my all-time bowlers that I've seen. I sometimes say that, had this test cricket thing, if it was still like before the matches, without the test cricket being delayed, KG would have long ago broken all those records. It was, to be honest, they played a strong Australian team, which has the likes of Pat Cummins with all-rounders, Pat Cummins, the Mitchell Starks, the Nathan Lions. So that was not just any ordinary Australian team, but they beat the best of the best there.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, man. I love getting wickets. And playing against Australia, I think it was fitting because us and Australia play similar kinds of cricket. You know, we both have pace attacks and we both play like more in-your-face cricket. That's the way that we play. So it was really a case of fighting fire with fire. I think Australia always get the best out of us because you know they're coming at you. And us as South Africans, when people are coming at us, we're very, very good at retaliating.
Yeah.
But, you know, sometimes you'll play New Zealand and they're very nice to you and they shake your hand. And next thing you know, you're like, hold on, we're behind the game here.
Yeah.
But Australia, you know, have no other way of playing. They show you that they want to come at you. And I think as South Africans, we respond to that.
And if I'm not mistaken, though, England are only going to be landing in December 2026. I mean, what's been the talk, if any, about the FTP only having, test play scheduled for the Proteas men's squad?
Look, that's the main issue here. It's like I said, the ICC. Now that we're world champs and people are saying that we're playing other oppositions, instead of England and India and Australia, well then, come and play us then. Don't complain about something that that you're controlling. So then come and play us. So I guess we're the champions now. So then come and play us. But I also think it's disrespect to the rest of the cricketing world. Without the rest of the cricketing world, you also wouldn't have this product. So I think it's a little bit, a little bit arrogant. But however, it's still a business. It's a business, and to them, business comes first.
And when you look at the profit margins, and that is why, like you were saying, that SA20 brings the business element. So when Cricket SA goes into board meetings and they say, look at our profits, they're there. We've made 800 million rand, for example, and this is what comes through from the commercialization of the game. The bums on seats, the views on television, social media, everything plays a role now. It's a multifaceted sport for individuals, even within a family structure, because you see those kids coming to watch, so it's not just about cricket, it's about the heroes that are playing, but what can we do while the cricket is on? And that's what makes some of us very excited about the growth of the game.
I think the key as well with that revenue in South African cricket is for it to be used well, not in SA20, but in the local cricketing structures.
Development.
And not only at grassroots level. People talk about grassroots level. At amateur level, at schoolboy level, at the professional level. That's where it needs to be enhanced. And that's where you need to get the most activity happening, because you need to keep producing players. Because the players are
Rob.
there.
Good evening, KG. KG, man, I'm so happy for you. Your performance, your consistency. You are the go-to guy when our captain need the wicket, and you deliver. You always make sure you deliver. Standout performance against the mighty Aussies with the experienced players. You showed up. You showed them why you are the best, KG. And yeah, man, well done. You made country proud. And I was hoping, I was wishing, and I was praying that, you get that 10 far, but you shot on one. I don't know what's happening to Stark and Hazelwood. They've been, making it difficult for you to get that wicket. So, but congratulations, man, and keep on going. I think we are now going to break the Del Steyn record and continue doing the best.
Good evening, Rob, and good evening to Kagiso Rabada. Rob, I follow sports personalities for these type of stories because Kagiso Rabada went into this championship with a cloud hanging over his head, and he rose to the occasion and shut the noise, and he came with a very incredible mental fortitude into this championship and delivered the results. But my question to you, Kagiso, how do you feel being coached by Coach Shukri Conrad and the father figure that he displayed when he speaks about you guys as the players that he's managing? Thank you so much for bringing this maize into the country. We really appreciate the efforts that you guys have pulled in to put our cricket where it belongs. Thank you so so much, Tebogo.
Tebogo, thank you so much. You might have touched on that briefly early on, but I think for the sake of those who joined the conversation a bit late, maybe include also just having one coach across all formats, but personally, for you, what he means.
Well, you know, he loves South African cricket. He's had multiple years in the game. He's got a cricketing nous. He knows what he wants. He understands the South African system. He understands the players, and he has the ability to make us learn quickly. That's like, and he's a father figure. He's like a father figure without really trying to be one.
But he understands, though. I think his travels, him being a brilliant cricketer himself, and like you say, maybe not much has been documented about him. Losing also a mentor to him, which was his father, early in the year, also would have affected him. But sometimes people are affected by such differently and motivates them differently. Have you picked that up in terms of what it's done to him? Because I also just observed, Tebogo was talking about personality, so I like to observe. And when you see somebody who doesn't want to be in the forefront, yes, he comes up, grabs the mace, hoists it up, and then he's quickly like, okay, guys, you take over. And then he goes somewhere at the back, and he invited all the other management, the staff, and everybody else to come onto the stage to celebrate that moment. So for me, that's how I describe leaders and people that are not about the shine, but are about every contributor as well. That's just an outside observation. I don't know about you.
Yeah, 100%. I don't think he's there to steal the limelight. It's not about him. It's about him doing the best that he can and achieving, what his dream might be. But I can tell you now that he would have been extremely emotional. He would have been extremely emotional at this win. Yeah, 100%. I saw it live.
Love it, man. And I'm going to start to let go of you because you got another appointment. Just touch on the Themba Bavuma leadership. Yes. Talk to us about what that man stands for, what he's done to the unit.
Well, Themba's been a close friend of mine, but, if I isolate my friendship with him, I think that he's been heavily criticized over the years, not only for the captaincy, but him as a player. But you look at the stats just prove them all wrong. So that's the first thing. And I think he's a guy who is, I guess, very sensible in his approach. I think that's his strongest asset. He doesn't react on impulse, on emotion. He's a very calculated thinker. And I think he helps Coach Shukri and is there to be, a sounding board or to act as a partner in making certain decisions. And, he's learnt a lot as a captain. He would say it himself, letting people lead themselves. And stepping in when he has to step in. So there have been things that he has learned. But I think his strongest quality is his perseverance and his sensibility and practicality towards the game. He makes really sound decision. And I think Shukri, because of his apprenticeship and because of his understanding, has taken a lot of pressure off him, which is a very important thing.
3 quick fire questions for you. Just answers. Your favorite wicket at the tournament?
The favorite wicket, I'd have to say Pat Cummins.
Toughest batter you faced this year?
Toughest batter, Steve Smith.
Your message to the fans that have backed you and the team through thick and thin?
Thank you so much. That atmosphere at Lords was unbelievable. The best atmosphere I've played in my entire career. There was just South African after South African in that. It felt like a home game. It was surreal. I'll never ever forget that. And afterwards, when we were doing our parade, no one left the stadium. It was just South Africans everywhere. So that was brilliant. Loved it. Thank you for your support.
And any message, though? I know sometimes you got to be the KG that is very measured and very professional, and with all the media training that you've had through the years.
I've had no media training.
Well, I can sense that you are your own media training, okay? But what I mean by media training, let me maybe put it there. And well done. If you didn't, you are a brilliant example of how people should conduct themselves in front of the media. Sometimes people are very wanting to just talk and be guided by emotion. You've almost adopted a leadership, a captain's role, even without you being captain, in terms of how you answer and address media conferences, which maybe sometimes takes away from the personality, us understanding what maybe worries you, what worries you like at night before you go to sleep, and say, maybe I'm misunderstood in a certain way, which I think sometimes happens with Tamba, that sometimes he's misunderstood, and therefore people see him taking pot shots, an easy target as far as that is concerned, and hence all the criticism through all the years. But if you had to let go of that KG and just speak to South Africans now, would there be one singular thing that you would love to address, or maybe love people to understand about this superstar that's sitting in front of me now?
Well, yeah, I think that right now I can easily answer that question. I think with what happened with me earlier on, before the World Test Championship, I think one of the lessons I learned was gratitude. But I think as people, we are insecure, and through that you just feel like so vulnerable that everybody knows, your skeletons and whatnot, only because of the fact that you're an athlete and you're out there for people, and journalists are writing about you, and there's a journalist who's annoying you, sending you a message, saying, oh, I know this, I know that, and you just, you end up not really liking them and whatnot. So we, as athletes, we are just normal human beings. We're not these special people. We just happen to be, I guess, in a protected environment, an environment where people can judge you on your performance, on the way that you behave yourself. We're just under the spotlight, and so be it. But I think that one of the biggest lessons that I learned was, to not really look too much into what people think about me.
Yeah.
Because people have their judgments. So if anything, I felt more liberated in that front. I was like, well, people will think whatever they want to think about me, and that's okay. I can live with that without condoning any bad actions. But it freed me up in that way, even in other aspects.
Sure. All right. I think that's fair. And once again, congratulations on all your major milestones. Congratulations with, when you can say congratulations to the future of whatever still lies ahead. I applaud the way that you handle yourself under the most immense pressure. It takes a lot of guile. It takes intellect, your intelligence, your ubuntu bako as a human being. So you got to dig deeper, but you manage that very naturally. And, again, compliments for somebody with no media training through all the years to handle yourself in that way. Some people lose it. And I'm sure you've seen that in world sport. They lose it because the pressure becomes so much. And you say, but guys, what do you really want from me? I'm just here to deliver what God has given me in terms of my natural gift and talent. And you've been able to hold yourself up. So big ups to you. Big up to the family. I know family's been mentioned. Dad's been mentioned. The good doc's always been there by your side. And let that continue to drive you deeper into your 30s, deeper into more records, and that we can enjoy Kagiso Rabada at another level again. But here we are today celebrating on the 23rd of June 2025, you being a world champion, and it means everything to us. And that's the message again coming through from the YouTube channel viewers, that you're a superstar. Keep that head firmly fixed on those shoulders. And there's still more to come. I appreciate you, sir, and thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on the show again.
Thanks so much, man. KG Rabada, ladies and gentlemen, it's not every day we can say a true world champion live in studio. Salute to all the Marawa Sports worldwide shareholders watching on the YouTube channel. Catch you soon.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live at the same time. #MSW.